Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And they can't all be winners, right? Disney actually had a pretty good year, but Mufasa is not doing well. In fact, it's doing a lot worse than they thought. It looks like Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is completely destroying Disney's Mufasa. Imagine that.
Honestly, I honestly thought Disney would do something to make sure that Mufasa beat it. I'm surprised. But I'm also not in the fact that people are really sick and tired of it, and they know they were retconning it. When they had trailers, people were mad about it.
Yeah.
It was an early indication that people were not into this movie, and they're just tired of the live action remakes.
So we're gonna talk about this. This is pretty amazing. They've actually greenlit Sonic 4 already, but Sonic 3 is actually the best rated Sonic movie, both critically and from the audience point of view on Rotten Tomatoes.
And it's beating Mufasa's ratings too.
And it's destroying Mufasa. So let's talk about this. I mean, we knew it was going to be kind of a showdown this weekend. I actually thought Mufasa was going to do better. They're saying it's only going to do 36 to 38 million, which I mean, only
that's a start. Is that the full weekend or just a start?
That's the full weekend. It was supposed to do 50 to 65.
Yeah, and Sonic's going to do twice as much.
Sonic, they were thinking 55 to 60, and now basically everybody that was going to go see Mufasa, they're all going to see Sonic. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Check out clownfish-com for merchandise and the Plus Club. We got Plus Club out there with exclusive content. Also, go out to clownfishtv.locals.com. Thank you very much for the support.
Yep.
Come from Deadline. Hedgehog mauls Mufasa with 70 plus million in pre-Christmas frames Saturday and box office update. So they said, who knew that hedgehogs were predatory creatures that could spring out of the ground and take down the king of the jungle in full? So yeah, they only spent 122 million on Sonic 3 and it's already going to do 70 million opening weekend.
Well, I'm glad I bought you that Sonic Christmas ornament because now everybody's going to want them.
I have to put that video up. Yeah, you bought a whole bunch of like retro console Christmas
I do,
ornaments.
but one of them's Sonic and it makes a noise and then it runs around a circle and it makes a little that little whoosh sound and then
I know that sound very well.
I can hear it in my head.
Yeah.
And it gets the rings. Yeah.
I just wish the Sonic fandom didn't get so damn weird because it was like, I love Sonic the Hedgehog. I love Sonic. And that was definitely my generation. And I actually, I don't know if I told people before, but I almost got a job at Sega.
I was going to mention that when you got with the Sonic art too, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, almost. Yeah, that was a whole thing. I tried out for Archie Sonic comics. That was a whole thing. But because I was doing Disney books. So, but anyway, yeah. So I was going to get a job at Sega, and it's a long story, yada yada yada. But they were actually working on Sonic and Knuckles and some of the Saturn games when I was there, and I made several visits to the office, and it was cool. It was cool in your hometown.
Oh yeah,
they had Sonic 3.
Forgot
was launched
about that.
There. Yeah,
yeah.
And
they had the balloon. The Macy's balloon was here. Yeah,
yeah, and they still like
Punxsutawney.
If you look around town, there's still evidence that Sonic 3 was launched in Punxsutawney, and that actually that was pretty cool. Anyway, they said it's doing a lot better than the Lion King, the live action Lion King prequel that literally nobody wanted. 36 to 38 million. Mufasa gets a cinema score, or Mufasa gets an A cinema score to Mufasa's A minus. So
I think that Sonic was supposed to get an A cinema score to Mufasa's A minus, but that's what it says.
On Friday alone, Mufasa did close to half the business Sonic 3 did, 13.3 million to 25.75
I want to see Sonic so bad, but I can't probably go until next week, maybe.
A lot of Christmas stuff going on.
We have too much going on.
Today's going to determine if Sonic 3 notches to the best opening in the franchise, beating its predecessors, 72.1 million. Even if the threequel settles in the high 60 million, well, they already said beat that. It's still above the high 50s to 60 forecast. Yeah, they said Sonic was going to do 50 to 60, and Mufasa was going to do like 50 to 55, and Mufasa's like dropping off a cliff. And even McDonald's, like, they had to pick one to promote, and guess what the toys are? They're Sonic toys. Yeah. They got Sonic. So yeah, this is crazy. One. You want to get some Sonic toys?
I might want one, maybe. Okay, let's talk about what's going on here.
Yeah, so they said it's actually good. I mean, this is the thing. It's actually this is kind of what Christmas used to be like at the theater, right? We had a couple of years. I mean, the pandemic obviously threw a wrench into things, but like you got Sonic 3, You got Wicked, you got Moana 2. I mean, there's like all kinds of movies. Like if you want to take your family.
I was gonna say, you remember when everybody was trying to like put Captain Marvel up against Alita,
yeah.
Battle Angel, and I'm like, why can't you just be happy? There's two big movies in the theater with female leads at the same time. Why do we have to put them against each other? And I think that's kind of like it is now. I mean, there's some really good family movies at the theater right now, and that's a win for families. It's a win for the box office because the theaters can only perform as well as the movies they're given. So, I mean, there's good news for those people. If you were looking at it from that way, I don't really want to put them against each other. I just think it was really dumb of Disney to make this movie at all. But
they're saying that. They're like, Chapek's not around, so you can't blame it on him.
They will, though. They still will blame it on him. Even though he probably is one that greenlit it. But, I have to look into it. But they probably still will blame it on him.
And they said if you're going to go back to The Lion King, you should have at least brought in Elton John to do the songs, Jeffrey Katzenberg to produce it. Katzenberg, though, is at DreamWorks right now. So, yeah, they're just like, you can't go back to this without the OGs involved. And I think I remember reading something that Elton John was mad they didn't ask him to come back and do the music for it. As far as Lion King, like I've said before, Lion King is my all-time favorite Disney movie, and I actually do give a pass to the Lion King 2. And I don't do that very often, but it actually was pretty decent, and they did have some Elton John music in it, so it wasn't completely terrible. But like as far as the reviews go, Sonic 3 is the first film in the trilogy to be certified fresh. Yeah, if you look at 86% Rotten Tomatoes for reviews, 98% they're calling it popcorn meter now, compared to Sonic 2 was 69 and 96, and Sonic 1 was 64 and 93. So I'm wondering if there's less family hijinks in this one, because that was kind of what dragged down the second movie, was the whole family wedding.
Maybe. I think because of Keanu Reeves and the story with Shadow. My brain's just putting today. The story with Shadow is actually pretty interesting if they stick to it. The story was. Sorry, I did check. It was Chapek. It was under Chapek that was greenlit, which I figured it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just was double checking that.
So going to Rotten Tomatoes, Mufasa 58%.
Yeah, the critical score for Mufasa isn't even as good as Sonic 3. And Sonic 3 scores are really high.
That is crazy, because usually the third movie in a franchise is not fantastic. Now, the other time this happened was the Star Wars prequel trilogy, where Revenge of the Sith was hands down the best rated. Yeah, it wasn't stellar, but it was significantly better than The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. But yeah, they're saying it's the first film of the trilogy to be certified fresh. They're already doing a fourth Sonic, spring 2027. People were saying it was really good. Sonic 3 was an absolute.
I want to see it. I really want to see it.
They gave Shadow the gun. I was worried about that. I was worried that he wasn't going to get a gun, because for those of you who remember the first Shadow game, like, it was weird. It was like, Shadow the Hedgehog, which is a Sonic game, he's going around shooting people in the face, with a freaking.
But you know what? It being Keanu Reeves, it makes sense, because of John Wick and stuff. So I'm like, they needed to give him the gun, or that just makes it better.
Yeah, so people said there are a lot of nods to the games, and now we're into the 3D era of Sonic, because the first two kind of covered the 16-bit era, and now we're into the 3D era. Where's Big the Cat? I want Big the Cat. But yeah, certified fresh, 85%, but it's actually gone up. It's actually gone up since then. It's 86%.
Yeah.
So it's looking pretty good.
When the critics are saying 86, and then they're giving Mufasa the 50-some percent.
Yeah. So this was unexpected. I knew that Sonic was probably going to do slightly better. I did not expect it to do that well.
It kicked its ass.
It completely kicked
it likely will kick its ass. We don't know yet the numbers. We won't know until Monday or Tuesday, the actual numbers. But, then Disney will be like, oh, it made this much money in the 10-day opening weekend.
Yeah, it's the best
press release.
The best numbers ever for a prequel to a live-action movie, in a 10-day weekend or whatever.
At the holidays.
During the holidays, yeah. But, to be fair, Disney actually, this year, they actually seem like they're getting their shit back together.
Well, to be fair, though, too, that wasn't on them. Inside Out, they did put notes, and but that was Pixar, but you cannot, they're getting credit for the box office of, Deadpool and Wolverine, but let's be honest here, that was Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
They take credit for it, but if they had done it their way, I guarantee you it wouldn't have done as well.
Yep. So, are we going to wrap this up?
Yes. I kind of want to see this. Hopefully we get to see it soon because I really, really want to see Sonic. I have no desire to see Mufasa, don't care. But I want to see Sonic 3.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.